Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of Trilos International, your number one English source for all things Olympiacos. My name's Costa, joined by Marshall, aka Olympiacos FR, famous on Twitter, now called X. Marshall, what's going on? How are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling quite okay tonight. It's quite a weird sensation because we actually drew, and it feels like almost like a win to me. Not a win, but it's a good draw, if I can call it like that. So, yeah, it's quite a nice night, if I can say that.
I have a similar kind of vibe. Like, I'm in a good mood. Obviously, you always want to beat your biggest rivals domestically, but the way kind of the game turned out, the Yaremchuk goal, it's not so bad. I was saying during the game actually that yes, of course we care a lot about these games. That can't be underestimated. But if you look at our calendar this month, this was the game where you would expect some kind of rotation, and kind of getting into the game immediately. I'm not sure we expected such a heavy rotation, or some of the choices that the coach made looking at the lineup, right? There were some surprises straight away. Babis Kostulas starting as the number 9 today in a role that I don't remember him playing since the first game of the season. Was it against Volos away when he started up front on his own? And I think he came off at half time. But that was a bit odd today. Marko Stamenic started as well next to Christos Mouzaikitis. We had Rodinei starting as a winger, and otherwise the defense was what we expected. But what was your reaction to the lineup today?
Well, my reaction is the rotation. We all know it's needed. Like, we all know the coach needs to rotate the squad. You told about it, January is going to be a tough month for the team. My only concern is that rotation, it sometimes it reminds me Martins when he was doing rotation. It was like poison gift to some player, because if you're Stamenic today, for example, the guy barely played for the past weeks, and he starts a derby away against Pau, and given how shit it was, we can say that. Given how shit it was, you know that it's done for you. When you play that, it's done for you, and I don't really consider it like rotation. For me, the rotation is when you start Costinha over Rodinei and Rodinei over Costina, in the right back position. Mouzaikitis with Garcia is rotation, both of them. I'm still struggling to understand some choices Mendilibar made today. The biggest one has to be Kostulas up front alone. But a part of that, in the cup, the results matters. That's the only thing that matters to me. We got a draw. We are alive for the qualification, and that matters. We had no injuries, no red cards. But yeah, we need to be probably more careful with rotation, because we all know Mendilibar loves that. He will do it again in the Greek League. But yeah, some players aren't up to the level for the rotation, in my opinion. Not the fact they aren't good enough to play for Olympiacos, but playing for Olympiacos and playing good for Olympiacos out of rotation, to me, is two different things. If that makes sense to you, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, look, there's clearly some players that really haven't offered anything since joining, and I understand it's hard when you're not in rhythm. Player like Marko Stamenic, but this is Olympiacos. Some players can hack it, some can't, unfortunately. So yeah, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised that Mendilibar made those choices. I agree with you. Like, the oddest one was Kostulas up front on his own. I wasn't surprised that he started Stamenic. I wasn't particularly surprised that he started Rodinei as a right winger. I was, for the record, guys, I don't think we said this in the beginning. This is the Greek derby ending in a 1-1 draw today. Honestly, it's kind of a repeat scenario. These Olympiacos Panathinaikos games over the past few years, they haven't really been great to watch in terms of spectacle. It's not like, okay, us as Greeks abroad or foreigners that love Olympiacos, it's not the type of game really where you would invite your mates over to come and say, oh guys, you got, come and watch the Greek derby with me. Like, the spectacle's been poor. It was poor again today. Both teams, I think they went out with a tactic, or their approach was, we don't want to lose this game. And that's exactly what happened in the end, right? I mean, they scored a ridiculous goal. A ridiculous goal. Really, really sloppy. Hard to find the words for what actually happened there. Actually, the only word that really comes to mind is clusterfuck. Like, what's going through Paschalakis' mind with you could see it. I don't know about you, but I was just watching the game live, and the ball goes to his feet, and you're so, like, I'm anxious. You can see that he's anxious when he's got the ball at his feet, and you're just thinking, clear it. You know you're not good with your feet. Just clear the fucking ball. And
I also have to blame a little bit Stamenic on it, because if you do look at the face, is giving the ball back to Paschalakis, and then is turning his back on the goalkeeper. And I would say the safest way for Paschalakis was to pass the ball to Stamenic, and then Stamenic to clear it on the side. You know what I mean? Like, it's the back behind it. But yeah, for sure, it's the kind of goal that you ate eating, because it's the second goalkeeper. He got to play the cup because it's the only game he's gonna play, and it's not something I wanted to see. So Paschalakis doing, you know what I mean? I appreciate the guy, his work ethic and stuff. So yeah, it kind of hurts. You know what I mean? It reminds me when we bottled the qualification with Houtesiotis against Lamia, if you remember. The rainy day in Lamia, we lost like 3-1 or 3-2.
With Pedro.
Houtesiotis, was kind of shit in that game. And it pains you because those goalkeepers doesn't get to play many games.
No. I and this is a topic that's really coming up a lot in the chat here on during this live stream, but also in our Patreon chat. Before we continue, guys, if you're tuning in live, let us know where you're tuning in from. We always like to do this, ask people following us where you're tuning in from, whether it's Greece, the United States, the UK, maybe France, Germany. We're being listened to in over 90 countries most of the time. Greeks everywhere, fans of Olympiacos everywhere. With Rilos International. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that like button. It costs you nothing, means everything to us, and it helps us to keep growing the channel, growing the community, and finding more Olympiacos fans. So let's make this the biggest red and white community online. We're the #1 English-speaking source. We speak Greek, we understand it, but we do it in English so that we appeal to a wider audience, not just in Greece. Now we've got one, Badelis, tuning in from Montreal, Canada. Cambodia, really? Or are you trolling us? That's Louis tuning in from Cambodia, apparently. But look, there are quite a few comments about the keeper. Where is it? Yeah, this our friend Padelis. So sorry, guys, just logged on, so not sure if it was covered to begin with. I've always said in Mendilibar we trust, but why would he put in Paschalakis instead of Zoulakis? This is the Greek Cup. Wouldn't it have been better to play Paschalakis in a Super League match? What do you think about that, Marshall?
Well, I kind of agree with the last part, because to me, how can I say that? Zoulakis, I would not rest Solakis in any of our games, because starting from, for example, January, we're aiming to be good in every competition, and you need to play for me the best goalkeeper when you have it. And I would agree with the fact that Paschalakis could play in smaller Greek games at home, for example. I don't recall the schedule we have over the next weeks, but we surely have some games in which he can play. But it's the rotation of goalkeepers is something very difficult to handle, because let's not forget the fact that like years ago we had those Leali and Capino with no number one, no number two, and both of them ended up being shit with us. I do believe in the fact that the number one has to play every game is fit for, and Paschalakis, I could agree the fact that he can be pissed because he's not playing, but we know the guy works hard, he's not complaining, he's probably happy to be there to help Solakis, and to me it's a no-brainer. Like Mendilibar has a very fragile group of players, and the goalkeeper is always the first name you should put on the game sheet. And of course, my opinion probably PAs, because we've seen Paschalakis doing this mistake today, even if he had 2 instant saves later.
Yeah.
But it's not like a striker, it's not like a defender. You can't sub the goalkeeper in. So
it's like we have to say the good and the bad, because like, okay, the bad today was really bad with the mistake on the goal. It cost us. But he makes like one insane double save, and there was another one. I think I can't remember which one it was, but like, you feel like he did redeem himself somewhat. And you know, we've always known him as a keeper that's pretty good, like when it comes to like reflex or some Superman like saves. And look, for a keeper that hasn't played this season, the double chance that he saves is massive. Like that's fantastic bit of goalkeeping. But okay, you can say maybe he redeems himself with that double save, as bad as that was. But to your point earlier about when can you actually play him, man, in January you can't. Like, we're playing Atromitos next at home. You've got to win that game away. Then you go Porto away. Then you're back and you play Panathinaikos again, home, in the league, and you play Karabakh. And that's January. He's not playing in any of those games.
Right. Now, the question to me is, when you see the 2 saves of Paschalakis, you really understand that it's something I've said a lot in the pod, the struggle to get rotation players. But Paschalakis probably is what come closer to a rotation player in the squad, because he has the work ethic of someone that hasn't given up on the fact maybe one day he could be a starter again. You look at the guy, is the fittest guy probably we have in the squad, who's always training, never injured, never complaining. And the thing I want to say is I'm really protecting myself with Paschalakis for the next season as a number 2. Like, the game he had today was a bit disappointing, but at the same time, can we really find better as a second goalkeeper? That's my question. It has to be the hardest spot to have in the squad. We've struggled so much with that position in the past. We had Bobby Alain, we had Christensen, we had Leali, Capino, Yaniotis. I don't recall every player we had, but most of them were frustrated not playing.
Yeah, it's true. You think of reliable number 2s over the years, maybe you're going back to like Roy Carroll, some epic games like back in the day under Valverde. Was it like Ruben Kazan at home pulled out like an incredible performance? I think it was against Ruben, and that was before the Metalist game. But yeah, anyway, Meyeri, who effed things up in the return leg against the Metalist at home. Anyway, don't know if there are any other comments about Paskalakis in particular, because I know we're obviously going to talk about Yaremchuk, and I think there's a lot we can talk about there for our Ukrainian striker. Who else have we got here? Oh, Aris, miserable London. Greetings from London. Big ups to my hometown where I was born. Dimitris PANATHINAIKOS, greetings from Barcelona, boys. Dimitri, did you go to the PANATHINAIKOS game to support Barcelona? The PANATHINAIKOS lost in the basketball. Kolonaki. What else have we got? What did you think of the centre backs today, Marshall? Just before we came on live, we were saying we have an insane amount of quality at centre back. It's like the first time we've ever had that higher quality centre back squad rotation. Can I call it that?
And to me, it's obvious because the four centre backs we have currently, it's Biancon, Retsos, Carmo, and Pirola. And any of them four would start in any other Greek club easily. And I think it's quite balanced because the two right-footed centre back, either Biancon or Retsos, has a very nice playing style for centre backs, if I can say that. And we do see, for example, Carmo, which is taller, probably as a more tough centre back. Pirola also belongs to that category to me because today he had to be really tough to be good, and he was. And I'm a little bit frustrated in the fact that Pirola isn't a full starter because of Carmo, but at the same time, and how many games Pirola played already? It's quite a few games.
Yeah.
Also with Mendilibar subbing on center backs, the amount of minutes they can play is quite huge. So yeah,
he's had fitness issues too. He's had fitness issue too, right?
What?
He's had fitness issues as well.
Yeah, true. When he came, he was struggling. But yeah, that's why I do believe that the summer transfers were good in general, because when you do find a good centre back like Pirola for cheap, your summer can only be successful. How many years we tried to find the new Manolas, the new Marcano, then the new Semedo, you know what I mean? And it costed us so many time and money to find decent players. And I don't want to jinx it because, maybe Pirola can flop, I don't know, but we know that with Retsos and Biancon, it's a matter of confidence, probably. It's difficult. I don't really, because I've seen the comments saying like Retsos is better than Biancon. Could be. I do agree with that. But Biancon has been struggling with injuries for the past 2 years, probably. I think he hasn't delivered the player he should have been before, and it reminds me a little bit of Retsos when he came back. Retsos when he came back to Greece was struggling with injuries, and he needed almost a full season, because if you do remember the first season of Retsos when he came back, it was horrible. The season with Corberan, then
it was a horrible squad. It was a horrible squad.
Yeah, true. And Biancon has a lot to offer to me. He could also play as a right back, in my opinion, if needed in the Greek games, because we've seen in the second goal against Aris that he has good cross ability. He can carry the ball in front of him.
He's a good player to rotate with Retsos. They have similar characteristics. They're ball playing defenders. Both Biancon and Retsos have their moments when it comes to positioning sometimes. Like you feel like Retsos, Retos, when he's really in rhythm and he's fully fit, like he's a tower in the air. Like he's very agile. He can get up very high. He's got good hang time. Sometimes his issue is overconfidence. Same with Biancon as well, and we saw that against Aris where he got dispossessed. Even if that was a foul for the Moron goal, but there was a comment here actually I wanted to address from Aris, and it was about Pirola maybe playing more as a left back. I don't think that's a sustainable option, and I know it was something that was talked about before today's game, because otherwise Ortega's just playing week in, week out, and we don't know when we're going to be signing a left back. And if that's an interesting topic, because whenever Pirola's played left back, he's solid. He's a solid defender. I think his ball playing ability and his composure on the ball has also improved since he joined. To me, it's quite visible, and that's great. But you can't play him there. Just the build up and the balance of the team is not the same. And we need to sign a left back. Apostolopoulos there's an offer for Apostolopoulos from Lech Poznan, which has been widely reported. We've talked to Polish journalists as well about this. If those reports are true, the bid is somewhere in the tune of 500, 600k, plus a very generous percentage fee. For me, profit, go. You take a percentage as well. I think it's a good, take it. And now this whole thing with Athanasiou, frankly, I don't know if we're going to end up buying someone better. They're talking about this guy from Boa Vista, whose name I can't pronounce, Onyemachu or something. Reminds me a bit of Zaidu that we were linked with, that ended up going from, was it Guimarães to Porto? Similar kind of profile. They're both Nigerian too, right?
Yeah, true.
Boa Vista's asking somewhere around 2 million euro to make a deal. Apparently he's wanted by Trabzonspor and I think another team in Spain, I'm not sure. But I mean, Athanasiou, he's having a good season at Atromitos. If you're signing him on a pre-contract, or if there's a deal in place already, then why not just bring him now? He can play backup in the league or rotate, surely. But if we're not bringing him now, then why are we bringing him in the summer when we're going to have supposedly, you got Ortega, Ramon, Labros' favorite, Doron Leidner, who isn't getting any games in Switzerland, coming back. Athanasiou, so you've got 4. Who else am I missing? I swear we always say we've got 6 left backs.
But the thing is, I'm starting to think that we probably need a left back, but in January we are not going to find the left back the fans want, because what do you have on the market in January? You have 3 kinds of left back. The first one is new Oleg, smaller league, good player, international with a smaller nation, a guy that will be most likely a good defender, but that will suck offensively. Then you have the new Masuaku, if I can say that, very good attacker, is quite fast, technical, but is poor overall defending. And the third option would be the Olebas return, old name, that he's here to deliver 15 games, and then probably another season. And all of those 3 things have to be put in perspective with the fact that if we do win this league, we have decent chances to go to Champions League. And do I want to play Champions League with Ortega? No. But
he got done today so many times, man. It's Pelistri in behind. I think he was it. There was another one where he tried to shield the ball out, and I think Tete got the better of him, and they had a good shot. he's so inconsistent. There are some games where I'm like, I understand the player we signed and what we saw in him. Like he's aggressive, he can be quite strong on the ball, but I don't know. It's maybe a conversation for another time. But how much of an upgrade is he from Oleg? How much of an upgrade is he from Oleg?
It's difficult to say, but I think the main difference between Oleg and Ortega is not made to play that much of game, that so many games starting them. You know what I mean? Oleg was consistent. I mean, we might not like the guy, but he was consistent, and you wasn't feeling any improvement, if I can say that, but also he wasn't flopping. Like he maintained some level from day one to the end. But Ortega has been playing quite nice recently. The issue is that he can't sustain that level defensively. That's why you need a backup. And if you had Athanasio today, he would have played. I mean, we played against Kostsiras. Did you think that Kostsiras had a bad game? No, it's part of the team. You can't have top. Of course, we would like to have top players in every position. Would I like Prime Tsimikas to come back? Yes. But the thing is, what matters is the balance of the team. And I don't think the left back, despite what people think is the main issue of the team. If we do have a center back pair like that, if you do have a midfield with either Mothakitis, Heze, or Darni Garcia, and if the left winger ups the left back, then I don't see why Athanasiou couldn't play from January the 1st. Like it's almost too late now, because the Boavista left back is probably a good player. I don't really know the guy, but if we aim for Champions League, that's what I've changed. We are going to most likely, if we do win the league, we have run to go to Champions League, or maybe straight to Champions League. We don't want those players. We already have Lehner to get rid of. We already have Ramon. We already have probably Apostolopoulos if he doesn't leave.
Yeah.
If you merged all those players, it makes one good left back. Right.
I mean, we're also hearing good things about the left back in the current crop of under-19 players, Alafagis. I've seen a couple of games of the under-19s in the youth league, and he looks pretty good. Some of the people in our Patreon chat want to see him already in the first team, saying he's good enough. Quick shout out to our Patreons. Thank you to everyone that's supporting us there on Patreon. You can check out details about what we offer on Patreon in the description below, www.patreon.com/307 International. We have 4 different categories, a new one that's just been added, guys. For $1 a month, you get access to our WhatsApp group. The community is growing. We've got close to 80 people in that WhatsApp group. It's super fun. You can always talk to somebody about Olympiacos wherever you are. There's people there from all over the world. So literally always, you can always talk to someone about Olympiacos anytime during the day. A new tier that we've just added for $3 a month gives you access to live watch-alongs that we'll be offering. We did a pilot the other week, had great fun watching what were we watching? It was the Addis game, actually. We watched the Addis game on a watch-along together. It's good fun, and you also get the possibility to take the hot seat, come here and join the pod, and get involved with the podcast. For €5, expanded content tier, guys. Those of you that have been with the channel for a long time, Ari Bulubas is our co-host. He does all our scouting reports and analysis. Those scouting reports, guys, as of this transfer window, are going to be going into our Patreon as part of our expanded content tier for $5 a month. So those scout reports will be part of the Patreon package. And last but not least, we've got the legendary tier, which gives you all the perks from the other tiers plus merchandise. More details in the description below, www.patreon.com/307 International, link in the description below. So thank you for bearing with me on that. Also, guys, there is a man of the match voting going on right now on the YouTube channel. Get over onto YouTube and you can vote your man of the match. We got there Pirola, Yaremchuk, Rodinei, and other. Let us know who you thought your man of the match was today. Right, going back to the chat.
This is a good comment because
Oof.
I forgot the fact that
Do you want to read it out for those that are listening on audio?
What?
Read it out for those that are listening on audio.
Yeah. It says, if we don't make any signings very soon, I can't see us doing a PAO under Jovanovic when they lost the league after making no winter signings. It's a good point, actually. The thing is, in my opinion, we still have too many. We have a lot of players that did not clicked yet. I like this word, like they did not clicked yet. Even if it's obvious that either Oliveira and or Stamenic won't be there past January. But the thing is, when you see Yaremchuk, a guy like Yaremchuk basically holds a lot of our future in his feet. It's up to him to deliver what is due to deliver. If he can be like tonight, like it was when he came in Romania, first situation he has almost a goal.
But man, the goal he scores today is incredible. I've just seen a replay on Instagram now. There's a footage. It's on Red Duckling's account. There's footage from inside the stadium, and you see the ball coming in from Rodinei, and he does the flick. He does the flick and goes past the defender, and it's like, oh my god. And the finish, like through the legs of the keeper, it's a fantastic goal. I agree with you, man. Like, you know, it can't, like, I feel like this player, let's talk about Yaremchuk. This player for me has not had a proper chance. Like, we've just gone and signed the contract or pre-contract or whatever it is with Hefte Betancourt, a player who, yes, is currently equal top scorer in the Greek league with Ayoub El-Kabi, scored 12 goals, 5 penalties. And we've gone and signed this bloke for around, I don't know, 400,000, you know, less than 500,000 euro on a 2.5-year contract, which has been reported. And you've got this guy, Yaremchuk, and he goes and does something like that today. And I'm not going to lie, man, like, my reaction today is just like, really? Do we need, like, okay, I understand from a financial point of view, Yaremchuk's on a fat contract, more than $1 million a season for, was it 4-year deal, and Betancourt's coming in on, you know, a relatively small contract, though he is increasing his wages by 3.5. Good for him. Does Yaremchuk's performance today change things for you? Does it call the whole Betancourt thing into question again? And I'll stop after this, because we're hearing from the media that Betancourt is only coming if Yaremchuk leaves. 2 conditions: Yaremchuk leaves, and the second condition, if we don't sign another striker. So, do we need to sign another striker, Marshall?
The thing over Yaremchuk is we probably got caught into the price the guy represents, because yes, you said it has a massive contract. It was a fee to sign the guy here, but at the end of it, who cares? Who cares how much Yaremchuk costs? Because we spent the whole summer saying that this money could have gone to Podense, this money could have gone to Fortunis. It's true. Williams' money could have gone to Fortunis last January. With a new contract, he wouldn't have left. He would have taken that contract, most likely. Both of them left. It's done. And what matters with Yaremchuk is our ability as fans to really enjoy what he does on the pitch. It's the only thing that matters is the pitch. It's the header in Romania. If that goes in, it's another story. It didn't went in, We saw what happened next.
He broke his bloody nose.
Yeah, it's the sitters he missed against Panathinaikos.
Yeah.
That one hurts.
Yeah.
But the fact the guy is able to score a goal like that against Panathinaikos away at Oaxaca, let's not remain. Wijo, for example, did not recover forever from misses he made here. De La Fuente is not even playing in Switzerland. You know what I mean? Mentally, Yaremchuk is stronger. He has experience. Yes, he's probably pissed with the fact that he's not playing enough. But when he came in, did you see a guy that is not happy?
No, he's
professional.
Exactly.
And you know what saved Panathinaikos so many times last season is having Jeremejev on the bench. Do you think this guy is better than Yaremchuk? No. Is Yaremchuk entitled to score 10 goals? No. If he scores one in the second leg against Panathinaikos, if he scores 3-4 goals in the remainder of the season, it could be a flop and also a key part of the season. And just to end on Betancourt, I do rate the guy. I think he's a good player. He would be useful for the club, but he would have been useful in January with or without Yaremchuk. But the more we're gonna go into January, the more chances Yaremchuk will have most likely, and the more chances he will have to erase Betancourt from the debate, in my opinion.
Two questions. Do we need Betancourt? If you're taking a decision, Marshall, do we take Betancourt now? Or the second question is, did Yaremchuk have his Ibora moment today?
I would say my answer would be probably yes and yes. You need to take Betancourt and you shift back Kostulas as a number 10 second striker. It allows you to say to Stamenic to fuck off elsewhere. Then you move Betancourt into the strikers pool, and that's it. It's, to me, both it's a no-brainer because Betancourt costs peanuts, and even if it costs more than 0 right now, I don't know. I can smell that Betancourt is gonna score just 1 or 2 goals with us, but the kind of goals that matters at the end of it. You know what I mean? Because we've tried for so many years to sign second striker, to sign even Navarro. I wouldn't mind if Navarro came over Yaremchuk, but I'm not training Yaremchuk. No. Even if he's inconsistent, I agree with the comment saying he's inconsistent. Every player is. It's football. Otherwise, no one would be playing for Olympiacos, unless it's a youngster, of course.
This is an interesting comment from Nikos. Says, we don't need Betancourt. We either keep Yaremchuk or get a better option than Betancourt. Also, third striker can be Yusuf Tayer Sila, the two boys that came in via Forest that are in our under-19s. I mean, it's not a bad way of thinking. I mean, they're raw, like they're raw talents. They're scoring with the under-19s.
The thing I appreciate is in Betancourt is probably the same thing someone like Carlitos has. You know what I mean? Like those Spanish strikers, just like Pedro Conde when he came for Pasianina back in the days before he got injured. They have something different. They aren't big names, but Spanish football is way different from. It's a big league football, you know what I mean? And I know that Lambros, for example, said multiple times that Betancourt had a shitty resume before coming to Greece. But it doesn't matter because Spanish football, that the strikers we've seen, like it's like Guerrero. Who knows Guerrero in Spain? No one. Like local town, maybe, probably at best. It doesn't matter because they have something different. And we've seen against Panathinaikos, Betancourt is a fucking pain in the ass for the defense. He's ugly. He has braces. He's gonna dive. He's gonna concede red cards. You know what I mean? He has something that fits in the club. It would be like signing Warda if Warda wasn't a. I'm not gonna say the word, but you know what I mean. Those players, it's like Habdun when we signed the guy from Kavala. Not the same position, but they have something that can turn a defense crazy. And I'm not saying to play Betancourt as a starter, of course, but it's frustrating. He hasn't been able to be there from January the 1st because against Aris, against Panathinaikos away, if he got to play, he would have played already. And I'm not saying every Spanish striker is good, but we're not talking about Dimitris Manos. You know what I mean? With all due respect to the guy.
Where did you remember Dimitris Manos? Oh my God!
I like this. I like this player. I really liked this player back in the time.
Hugo Kuipers was a player, man. I know you liked Hugo Kuipers a lot. Yeah. That's a great second option. That one always annoys me. Like, okay, we made money off him when we sold him. We made money off him when he was sold to the MLS. What was it, from Ghent or wherever it was? But man, I don't know. Like my whole thing with Yaremchuk is just like, I think I said it on a previous podcast. I think in general, I think Ukrainian players are struggling because of what's happening in their country, and they can't be 100% focused on football. I get that. It's also like I kind of feel for him as a human being. Like he's come to Greece after being shipped out on loan every 6 months. He's moving around with his family. He's got family in Ukraine. He apparently is like, he's settled well in Greece, and now all of a sudden there's like all this doubt, and he's leaving, he's staying, we don't know, and he scores that fantastic goal today, and frankly, I think that he's more than a backup option. I think that he can get more minutes as a starter. It's clear El Kaabi's tired. He's tired, man. And just give the guy some time. Give Yaremchuk like some proper opportunities. He showed his quality today. It's like there's you're talking about an international striker, and I know his people talk about his goal record the last few seasons is not great, but I mean the guy's a freaking tank. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to put it in military terms, but the guy's a physical beast.
It's like,
and I think we can be using him better.
Yeah, for sure. And just think of it. We are having a debate about, do we need like Yaremchuk on the squad? Yes, if he has to play 15 minutes until the end of the season, the thing I don't understand is it's similar to Willian, even if I do believe that resigning the guy was probably the best solution. But why are we stressing so much over the costs those guys represents? Because we're not due to pay those wages, like as individual. I mean, the more quality we have, the best it will be. Of course, if the main difference between Marcelo and Willian was the fitness level, because even if Willian was a flop, I don't think it was that bad in terms of fitness level. So Yaremchuk, it's a no-brainer. You don't give players like that to Sivasspor in January. It makes no sense. If the guy has to flop.
What Sivasspor? I'm sorry, no disrespect to Sivasspor, but who is Sivasspor? Seriously, like, what are we talking about here?
No, but it's not worthy. We're gonna save 6 months of wages. Then what? Is gonna be back on the summer? No, I'm sticking with the guy. First of all, we have no choice. And then we've seen last season that if you stick with someone that is underperforming in January, you might end up with good surprises.
Yeah. We saw that last season. We saw that last season, absolutely. And if you're looking at some of those like transfers that came in the summer and which ones can actually try and turn it around going into the second half of the season, and for me, Yaremchuk for sure is one of those. Stamenic is very difficult. I mean, he has an expiry date. It's not a transfer. Like, it's not a player that's there for the long term. He's there on loan for a season. He'll go back to Forest. There's no incentive to say, I'm going to try and give Stamenic more time, or we don't have the luxury. We don't have the luxury. And frankly, you can say a lot about his position on the field, whether he's playing too far back, whether he would actually be offering more to the team if he was playing a little bit further forwards. But then, you think, okay, he's leaving in summer, he's not staying. Then you've got a player like Bakoulas who hasn't been given opportunities, but the manager showed that he liked him. He liked what he saw from him during the preseason, but he hasn't featured at all. So his development's hasn't gone as we would have liked. Yes, it would be difficult to play, I think, Mouzakitis and Bakoulas in a game like today, starting together. I could be wrong, but I'm just making that point. There's some people in the chat earlier were saying Oliveira is more useful than Stamenic. Let's see if we manage to get rid of him this winter. You want to add something there?
Why would we need to get rid of Oliveira right now? Just why? Is there emergency to get rid of Oliveira in January right now?
The only thing I can like assume or respond to there is it a financial question? Is it just it's an issue of finance, but then the manager who wants this tight squad, not too many.
No, I agree with that. I'm not saying is Mendilibar needs to play him, but he has been cutting Oliveira for the past games. I'm okay with that. But if Oliveira wants to stay on his contract, it's better to keep him. I'm not paying a fee to re-sign Oliveira because the thing I don't understand is why are we accepting that easy to get rid of player, and it means that we automatically deprived from a solution. And we know that the Greek league is not the best one, but sometimes Oliveira can have a wonderful game against Volos, against Levadiakos. We don't know. Even if it's a smaller game, you might need him, the guy, for one game. Yeah,
he doesn't fit the system. He doesn't fit the system.
No,
simple as
he will never fit the system anyway.
Yeah.
But it pains me to pay a guy to resign, and there is no need to. Yeah, that's it. That's my main argument.
This is also true from Nikos. Says we're already thin on the European list with the amount of players that we're talking about getting rid of. Like Doy's gone. Does Yaremchuk leave? Willian's gone. So 2 players from the list. But I don't know.
But the thing is, Oliveira is going to leave at some point, but you do have to clean a squad. It's in the summer. This guy needs to leave in the summer.
If a bid comes in, okay, fine. I just want to. So obviously it's transfer season, and we're coming towards the end of the show. Like and subscribe, guys. Another reminder: hit the like button. Costs you nothing, means everything to us. Helps us to find more Olympiacos fans around the world. The more likes we get, more people we bring in, better engagement we have. Martial, how many signings do we need before the window's up? The questions. I know we need 2, we need 3, we need 1, we need 4. How many do we need?
If I was to decide, I would say 2 insane good signings, 1 winger and 1 creative player. I'm thinking the gamble on the left back. I'm not saying signing any left back. And if we have the Horta from last season and a good winger, this team gonna be 30% better, if not 40%. easily with 2 players only. Let's not forget the fact, I just want to say it again, that I don't want to hear people complaining if we do have an overloaded squad with Champions League to play. Because the player we sign now will most likely end up playing Champions League if everything goes according to the plan. If there is a plan, of course. But I would say 2 players.
I mean, for me also, Andre Horta is a no-brainer. If we can get him in, I don't know, on a loan deal again with a better option. But I don't know. There were some rumors going around today that he's, or Braga's in talks with Santos, that he might go to Brazil. I don't know. It's the thing today in the Greek press was also that there was a feeling that in the next couple of days or before the end of this week that there would be a couple of signings coming in. Heard it all before. Is it going to be one of those things again where we're going to get to the end of the transfer window, make some panic signings? I really hope not. I really hope we manage to avoid that. I agree with you. I think we need two quality signings. I've really wanted to be patient with Velde. I think he was dangerous when he came on today, like 5, 6, 7 minutes, whatever he had. But like he screwed up a few chances. I don't know. Like definitely, like I've been one of the more patient ones, but generally the fan base, the opinion about the player, or let's just say the fan base's patience with the player, Christopher Velde is wearing thin, very thin. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
no, but the minutes he played today were like typical Velde minutes. He had situation in every ball he had to play, and he wasted every single one of them because it's visible that Olympiacos is a step above, if not 2, compared to where he used to play, and he just needs to get it, to understand that, to accept that he can't be the Velde of Poznan here. It's not possible.
It's not the same team. It's not the same team. It's not the same expectations. Like it's another level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's visible this guy can create so many differences. Azer with the fact that he's quite fast. Also, technically, I do like the guy, but it's up to him really. It's up to him and to Mendy to remain tough with him if needed.
Yeah, I mean, there's Masouras as well, who came on with Velde at the end of the game. There's some rumors about a transfer bid for him that we've been hearing. You never know with Olympiacos.
He had an offer from PANATHINAIKOS, I'm told. He wants to play in Super League 2.
God. Anyway, we're coming to that point during the live stream where we do our coach's grade and man of the match. So, Marshall, I'm going to ask you, who is your man of the match today?
Just before answering that, I would say if I had the choice, I would sign the 2 players I've mentioned, and I would recall Burnic from his loan.
Who? So Andre Horta and?
Andre Horta, a winger, and Burnic back from his loan because he has to get minutes. I don't think he's going to play Champions League with us, but we need depth in the wingers.
He's playing for the. Yes. He's in Slovenia now.
Yeah, with Vieira as a coach.
And they're top of the league, right? They're playing in the Conference League, I think, too.
Yes, they're playing Conference League, but you know what I mean. Sometimes the solution have to come from the inside,
from within. Yeah. Those things are always. I mean, they can be complicated because you don't know if he has what's it called, one of those clauses in the loan contract that the loan can't be cancelled or something like that. I don't know.
No, yes, we're gonna pay. We would need to pay to have him back. But
Right.
the thing is, it was so wronged last season because of the squad being so big, and he left in the season in which we will probably use him, at least off the bench from time to time. But I think it's over anyway because we wronged the guy so much.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't want to play for the B team. I heard that.
Of course.
Yeah. Anyway,
if I had a son tomorrow and he says, "Dad, I had an offer to play for Olympiacos B team," no, I would rather have him being a butcher than to play in the B team. With all due respect for the butchers.
Yeah.
Just look at the B teams. PAOK B teams, 8 straight losses. AEK B team had two wins in 15 games. And
Have you actually been following Super League 2? Dude, what?
No, but at least you have. Just look. Every player from the B team last season ended up in shitty places. Places. Even in Hanya, Pinakas has 1 goal.
Yeah.
That being said,
hopefully
we can cash on Ivan Pekarnic, and the player of the match would be Pirola.
Pirola for you, yeah?
Okay. I want to value the consistency of those guys. Coach's grade would be probably a B, because the lineup was not really okay for me, but the subs were.
Yeah.
And I want to value that because Mendy sometimes scares us with the subs, so it's a B.
He didn't make centre-backs subs today, did he? Again, he's getting better at
that. No, he didn't.
No, he's been quite good at that since coming back from Christmas. Maybe he's had to think about it, but I think Pirola's a good shout because he started the game, he finished the game, is very consistent. I think he pocketed Fotis for the game. I'm gonna just be different, and I'm gonna go for Roman Yaremchuk as my man of the match because he got the goal that leveled things up. It gives us better chances now for the return leg at the Karaiskaki. We've got our fates in our hands. We're going to be playing at home in front of I'm sure a sellout crowd, and we'll be wanting to win that and get through to the semi-finals, where I think AEK's going to be waiting for us. So Yaremchuk for my man of the match, and then coach's grade. I wholeheartedly agree with you about Mendy. Probably would have started off with a C or a D from the starting lineup, but I think he made good improvements. And it's the second time, by the way, that he plays Yaremchuk, Elkabi, and Kostulas at the same time. I think he did it in the last game too, against Aris, when we were looking for a winner. Yaremchuk had his arms, or his hands close to the defender, and he's fallen over like a ton of bricks, and Elkabi's goal gets ruled out. But again, we saw that today. Like, he's thrown on three forwards, and it's worked. It's worked both against against Aris, and it worked today again. So also at the end, I mean, he's tried to go and win the game, throwing Velde and Masuras on instead of putting a defender on, for example, which was what we were used to before January. So voila. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure the chat is going in the same direction. I'm just gonna go and check what the chat's saying as well for man of the match. Anything else?
I just want to say a little story. I was looking on Transfermarkt, and I was looking at the winter market from 2013, 2014. Do you want do I remind you which were the 5 signings we've made that season?
Was Hernan Perez one of them?
True. Yeah. Second one was Pelé from Ergotelis. Third one was Abdisalam Ibrahim from Manchester City, the
Oh my
Norwegian
God.
guy.
Yeah.
Fourth one was Marcano on loan from Kazan, and the last one was Nelson Valdez from Al
Nelson
Jazeera.
Valdez. Because we
And
sold Mitroglou that winter.
we sold Mitroglou, Weiss, and Jabur.
Oh yeah, shit. Yeah.
It's just a reminder. Sometimes I'm spending time on Transfermarkt to see how fucked can or winter market can be. We were loaning Leandro Pinto to Pasianina and Vlachodimos to Platanias.
Leandro who?
Leandro Pinto, center back,
Was one
Brazilian
of our
center back.
players?
Yes.
I don't even remember him.
And don't worry, Sambuya Tabaré was sent back on loan to France.
Sambuya Tabaré. Do you remember Leandro Greco?
Yes, of course.
Do you remember him? Such a random signing from Roma. I remember they had like in the papers, I don't know, comments from Torosidis or somebody. I don't know if they played together at Roma. Anyway, I think he scored a goal in the Champions League, didn't he? I think he got a goal in the Champions League. It was, he didn't last long.
The thing it highlights is that we were loaning so many players back then. Every 6 months, like 10 players on loan, 10 players away. Oh my God.
Yeah. Paulo Machado or Mustakias. Oh my God. Do you remember this? This is great. Machado Greco midfield with Zardim.
Do you remember who we signed in January 2018?
January 2018.
Biggest signing nowadays.
Miralas?
It's a yes. Biggest signing currently plays for AEK. It's Haj Safi.
Yeah, Haj Safi. I was going to say the left back. Yeah.
Then we've signed Carrachos from Larissa, center back, 20 years old. We've signed Igor Silva from Asteras. And then we signed Ivica Ivuzic, the current Paphos goalkeeper, out of nowhere.
The goalkeeper.
And that's it. And we sold Figueiras to Braga. Oh my God.
You guys should do an Olympiacos trivia game series. That would be good, actually. That would be good. That's a good episode, actually. It's a good shout.
Emeniki was sent back to Las Palmas. That's
what are you, bro? What are you doing here? Okay, this is a channel that we're open, even if you're fans of other teams. But honestly, man, you're coming in here to say this crap. Like, come on, man. You just lost to Barcelona today. It's like, what are you talking about? You're causing trauma, apparently, trauma transfers. It's, what we should do? We should do like a trivia episode. I like that idea, but also I want to do a 10 worst transfers. Like, let's have 10 worst transfers of Olympiacos. See if we can do that, and 10 best transfers and 10.
It's gonna be difficult to find only 10.
Yeah, but you got to find the worst 10. The worst. You're going to be talking about players like what's it? Who was Roderick Miranda, Santana, Costazzo? Yeah, guys, give us some ideas. Costazzo. What are the worst transfers we ever made? Rodrigo Archubi some years ago.
Oh my God. We've signed so many randoms players. So many randoms.
Pele.
Chumbinho. Do you remember the guy Chumbinho?
Yeah, of course I do. Like lower league legend.
Oh my God. No, I'm looking at the names. Javito, the legend. No, but it's good to go back to what happened sometimes in the winter, because we've signed barely 5 good players, probably like Jabur at 26 on 2012, no, 2011, sorry, on a free from AEK.
Butucci
Yeah.
was a January
It's
transfer.
hilarious to think that Manolis Moniakis costed more money. Manolis Moniakis from Ofi costed more money than Jabur, according to
This is a
Transfermarkt.
player we signed.
Yeah, you don't remember Manolis Moniakis?
Was he a wing back, like a left back or something?
Yeah, left back.
God, that was. I don't even remember that. To be honest with you.
Oh my God.
We should do that. We should do that. Like we need to do a,
He never played for us.
January transfer window best and worst. We need to do it. Emre Moore. Look at these names. We need to write these down. Ramon.
Christian Nemeth. You remember the guy?
I remember Christian Nemeth. Yeah, he was at Liverpool before we signed him. Like they thought he would be like this massive talent. Was he Czech? A Czech player?
No, Hungarian.
Okay. Didn't he end up in the MLS?
Yeah, but he was in AEK before, if I remember. He was loaned to AEK and we bought it, the guy.
Yeah, I can't remember if he went to AEK after us. Because he was with Valverde. I think Valverde's first team. In Valverde's second stint when he came under Marinakis in was it 2014 or 2013? I can't remember. Nemeth, Jovan Cabral,
Mirnes Sisic, you remember that guy, right?
Mirnes Sisic, yeah, with the step overs. Sisic,
oh my God!
Ronaldo.
I think we can agree on a fact. There is one winter in which we needed fullbacks, and we ended up with Sissoko on the left, Paredes on the right.
Oh man, so good. Oh, this is fun.
And then we sent Felipe Pardo to Nantes, and oh my God,
Felipe Pardo.
Gonzalo Paciencia. He said, "My heart is too weak to play for Olympiacos. I'm leaving."
This like that man. Oof. Josh Bowler's in with a shout. Conrad de la Fuente, we mentioned earlier. Kazim Richards. Good shout.
I like this guy. I like this guy in the past.
Kazim Richards. Ruben Vezo, bloody awful. Won a European Cup. Yaremchuk.
And in the same winter, we've sold Milivojevic, Ideje, and we've sent Jankovic to Partizan for almost $1 million, if you remember the guy.
I remember Jankovic, but he never played for us. Reo, Juan Pablo Pino, he was good, man, but he was a bit crazy. He was a bit loco. This guy. I remember he did like a Cruyff turn during a game, and this guy was like, oh, loving it. And then like the next game after, I think he got in a fight got in an argument with Micho, and he never played again.
Do you remember? Yeah.
We were playing so bad, like at the time, that like people were pissed at Micho that Pino wasn't playing.
If I told you about a Hungarian left back we've bought from Olympiacos.
Hungarian left back.
Can't pronounce the name of the guy. We took him to Ferencváros, then we loaned him to Leicester. It's Zsolt Laco. Laxo?
Or Latsko. Zoran Latsko, is that the one?
It's Zsolt Laxko, yeah.
I remember that one.
He signed along to the mighty Leonardo Jesus from Portuguesa.
Amazing memories.
He signed along to Belushi the year Belushi signed.
Great player. I enjoyed him.
He played 57 times for us.
Who, Belushi?
In Champions League. He played in Champions League. No, Leonardo Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
He played in the Champions League.
Yeah, man, he scored against Arsenal in a 1-0 win at home. It was a 6th game. It was pointless. We had they had nothing to play for.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't recall that game.
Yeah. It was a nice goal. It was a nice goal. He wasn't a bad player, man. Like, he's like kind of typical Brazilian left back. Like, he was like good going forward. Like, technique wasn't bad, crossing wasn't bad. Defensively, like rather poor. But he bombed up and down that wing. It was all right. It was all right.
People say football sucks now, but we won Champions League game with Raul Bravo as a left back, man.
Man,
this guy nowadays, it does not even play in first division anywhere.
Yeah. Raul Bravo, there was one season where I think we were really bad. Was it the season? Was it the season with Zico? Was he still there? Like, it was a season where he was good, but like good in a bad team. Yeah. Anyway, we've gone now over an hour. We're getting close to midnight Central European time. I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. It's been lots of fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe, show your appreciation to the channel. If you fancy, you can even give us, consider a super thanks. Check out the description below for our Patreon. Get more information on more content that we offer you guys, ranging from 4 different packages, $1 a month, $3, $5, $10. Take some time to go and check that out as well. Appreciate all the support. Give that like before we go. Yes, Marshall.
I just want to end the pod saying that Marcone, if you listen to this pod, I did not forget you. 16 games for Olympiacos. This club is that's why this club is the best one. We've signed so many players that we could have endless episodes about that. That's the last word I wanted to have. Let's not reproduce that in January. Let's not sign anyone.
Marcone is a good one. He came from Belgium too, didn't he? He was like playing for
yes.
Beveren. Was he playing for Beveren? Toure was playing for Beveren too, wasn't he?
Exactly. Yeah. All the Ivorians player came through those guys.
They thought that Marcone would be the next Yaya Toure. Unfortunately not. Ladies and gents, it looks like for the man of the match vote, Lorenzo Pirola has got 61%, Yaremchuk's got 36%. So congratulations, Lorenzo Pirola, man of the match by Thrillos International fans and Marshall. Big ups. So just a reminder, guys, our next game is against Atromitos. That is on the 19th, which is a Sunday. Kickoff, what time? Kickoffs is an afternoon kickoff, so it's 3 o'clock Greek time on Sunday, 2 o'clock Central European time, and that's a morning kickoff if you're in the United States. That's I want to say 8 o'clock kickoff in the morning for the Atromitos game. It looks like if you're on the East Coast. So yeah, guys, we'll be back on Sunday. Keep it locked to Thrillos International. Subscribe, hit the bell if you haven't done so already. If you hit the bell, you get notifications whenever we go live or whenever there's a new video coming out. So we'll be working on those videos that we've said here as well on the winter transfers, best and worst. So yeah, guys, thanks again for joining us tonight. We're Thrillos International, by the fans, for the fans. We'll see you again next time.